For your next installment of computers that have been to hell and back, I've got this Dell Dimension 3000. Most recently, this was owned by my cousin. He has most certainly not put the abuse and the dirt and all this crud into the computer. But yeah, I've known about this computer for a while. It runs POS Ready 2009, has 2 gigabytes of RAM upgraded from something, and it has a Celeron D, which means it's Prescott, on a socket 478 system, believe it or not. So if we go ahead and open this up, which requires a lot of strength. Oh wow. Oh, it wasn't put on all the way. No wonder it was so easy to open. Inside, we can see our 40 gigabyte hard drive, which is original as far as I know. Our 2 optical drives, one of which is not plugged in, which I'll explain why in a moment. Our cable, and the 2 memory slots, each containing a upgraded 1 gigabyte of 400 megahertz memory, so that's 2 gigabytes total, and you're missing 2 slots, so you can only use that much. 3 PCI slots, solder pad for AGP, but of course, can't get anything nice around here. You also can't get SATA ports, which is very unfortunate. And you've got your cooler, which is used on a lot of Dell socket 478 systems. Some excellent electrolytic capacitors. None are swollen or anything like that. And our clock battery. And of course the very aggressive fan for your aggressive cooling. This one looks to be an NMB unit. And then this is a power supply, probably 250 watts. NPS 250 KB, which definitely means that it is 250 watts. Definitely not a bad motherboard, and if you think this looks clean, that's because I cleaned it. It was extremely filthy like the rest of the computer when my cousin first got this. Looks like we have a floppy disk in the drive. It's probably empty or broken. And of course we got a CD recordable drive. This could have been DVD, but it's nothing now. We could not do anything to unjam this drive. It was stuck open, and we tried everything, so eventually we just broke it off. Then we disconnected the thing because it was useless, and why not save power? But yeah, everything about the outside of this computer is still extremely dirty and needs a washing. Evidently there's a little bit on the inside too. And on the rear of the computer, we've got a parallel port, serial port, PS2 mouse and keyboard, and then your audio jacks for USB ports, and there's 2 more on the front, and I believe a headphone jack, and your 10100 Ethernet. And there's 2 modems. This one is actually from a gateway of mine. I don't know why it's in here, but it is. And then this one is from, I want to say this one is original, and I would believe that I'm correct because it seems to have a fair amount of rust like the rest of the bottom of the case. Yeah, but the motherboard has an Intel 865 chipset, which is one of the last with full driver support for Windows 98, which, not like I'm planning on putting Windows 98 on here, but it's just a thing to point out. I believe the 875 is the very last, but that's not incredibly different. This is definitely a Dell Dimension 3000 or 4000 series case. I'm a bigger fan of the the 2000 series, which I'll probably put a picture of so you know what I'm talking about. But it's sort of like this, but a little visually better. That sounds a little dumb, but alright. And as you can see, this originally did come with Windows XP Home, which I want to say was on there, but it just sort of was blown up and unworkable. So that's why we put POS Ready on it. But anyway, that's enough of that. Let's boot the thing up and take a look at it. Ah yes, a password. But yeah, I've since removed his stuff and put in my own stuff. But yeah, it does work. It's not fantastic by any stretch of the imagination having a Celeron D. It's, shoot, what speed is it? Alright, we have a Celeron D at a whopping 2.66 gigahertz. And I kid you not, my Northwood Celeron, which is not Prescott, but also Socket 478, is half the cache, runs at 2 gigahertz instead of 2.66, and it feels bucket loads faster than this. So I think I may just have to go and spend the $20 to get a 3.4 gigahertz Northwood Pentium 4 for this computer, because Prescott needs to go die in a hole. This computer's like resonating. There we go. Nothing a little percussive maintenance can't fix. But yeah, we have SSE2 and SSE3, so I believe I'm correct there. I don't think... Northwood might have SSE3. But yeah, web browsing... It can sort of web browse, I guess. It's not very good at it, though. Oh, thank you, Clamwin. Wonder if turning down the refresh rate will happen to help with this problem. Maybe it'll just freeze. Good job. Oh, there we go. Hey, remember that desktop background I had? Yeah, what did you do with that? But yeah, so let's go ahead and try to browse the web here. It does like to crawl into a hole and die on a lot of more complex sites, so I'll try to keep it fairly simple here. And yes, we are using New Moon version 28.6, which that's a little out of date. I'll have to update it using that installer that I made. Pentium 4. I know this is a Celeron, but I believe they support the same instruction sets, so it'll just be easier to go here for what I'm trying to find, and then figure out where Northwood is. But yeah, that certainly wasn't forever and a day to load a Wikipedia. Let's see, Northwood. Okay, so Prescott did introduce SSE3, but I'm sure that's used somewhere, but it's not a big required one like SSE2 is, and every Pentium 4 has SSE2, so... Unlike the Pentium D that has 2 cores, the Celeron D, which this system has indeed only 1 core, and no hyperthreading even. But yeah, thanks for watching this video. I guess I'll clean up this computer, and I'll figure out what the heck happened to my desktop background. Catch you in the next video. Goodbye. Well, you missed it, but of course, as soon as I go to shut down the computer, my desktop background appears, which makes no sense at all. But, alright.